Mermaids are probably one of the most fascinating cryptids that we have here on Earth. Millions of people believe in their existence, and some have even claimed to have caught real footage of them. Let's take a look at 10 pieces of footage that allegedly prove the existence of these magnificent beings. Make sure you stay tuned for number 1 though. It's probably the best footage you'll ever see. Number 10. Mermaid at Bluestone. In today's hectic world, vacations are few and far in between. And usually these vacations are pretty much uneventful and are comprised mostly by what someone would expect. But in the case of this one family, they never expected that their getaway would lead them face to face with something what many people think are mythological. The Phibbs family from Northampton were on their way to Scomer Island during their holiday at Bluestone when their youngest son, Tom, aged 9, spotted something out of the ordinary swimming alongside the boat. He started waving frantically and pointing out a mermaid in the water. According to April Phibb, Tom's mom, they were all laughing because Tom's famous for his foolery, but then they spotted it too. If you look closely at the footage, you will see what seems to be a dark gray fin break the surface of the water. This mysterious creature was just visible for a second before it dived back into the dark water. Did the Phibb family really see a mermaid? What do you think? Maybe just a common fish? Hard to say. Number 9. Mermaid filmed by a submersible. The world's ocean comprise more than 2/3 of the Earth's surface, so it doesn't really come as a surprise that there are quite many creatures of the deep that are yet to be discovered, especially in the deep sea where human exploration is at an all-time minimum. One would expect to find strange creatures lurking within the dark waters. If this next piece of footage is to be believed though, mermaids can be found here as well. The footage you are seeing now is part of a documentary filmed by Animal Planet. The documentary discussed the possibility of mermaids existing, and documented the quest of finding one out in the wild. The clip that you're seeing right now takes place in a submersible, showing a couple of scientists exploring the dark, deep ocean. All of a sudden, a webbed hand can be seen on the submersible's window, startling all those who witnessed it. This footage created a whole lot of buzz worldwide, and Animal Planet received a lot of flack for it. The reason why was because this turned out to be a mockumentary, but Animal Planet intentionally left that fact out of its marketing. Number 8. A pod of mermaids. The existence of mermaids has not been conclusively proven, but there seem to be a lot of so-called mermaid experts floating around. Because of these people, we can come across a lot of documentation online discussing mermaid behavior. One thing that mermaids are supposed to be doing naturally is, like whales and dolphins, moving around in pods. Which brings us to our next piece of footage. It was taken by a drone flying over the ocean. It shows us what the filmmaker claims to be a pod of mermaids frolicking about in the waves. They don't seem to mind being seen by people as they can be seen swimming near boats in the area as well. Skeptics are quick to dismiss the footage, pointing out that the creatures in the video are nothing but a pod of dolphins, which are known to frequent the area. But what do you think? Are they real mermaids or not? Number 7. The Mermaid of Majorca. Among the many cryptids that are being sighted in different parts of the world, none seem to be more widespread than mermaid sightings. Many ancient cultures from all over the world have legends of humanoid creatures, part man, part fish, that live in lakes, rivers, or any other large body of water. In modern times, thousands of sightings of mermaids have been reported worldwide, and on this day in Mallorca, Spain, someone had a camera with them and shot this unbelievable footage. This short 30-second clip was shot from a sightseeing boat which was sailing off the coast of Mallorca in Spain. The unknown person who was shooting this video was taking footage of the rocky shore, but on one rocky outcrop they saw something that they had never expected. On the rock sat a bluish humanoid figure, which had the upper torso of a man but had the tail and fins of a fish instead of having legs. It was just sitting there on the rock, perhaps sunbathing, not paying attention at all to the boat that was slowly passing by. It's probable that the person shooting this footage did not notice the creature on the rock, because no reaction can be heard during the time when the creature was in frame. Was this creature off the coast of Mallorca a real-life mermaid? What do you think? Number 6. The Mermaid on the Rock. It seems that, like people, mermaids show different personality traits. While most of the mermaids caught on film on this list seem to not mind the presence of people or being filmed for that matter, the next entry on our list is quite wary of people and is quite camera shy. The footage that you're seeing right now has been circulating around the internet for quite a few years now, but nobody has been able to disprove it to this day. According to what I've gathered online, this short clip was shot at a local beach in Israel by some locals just there on a day trip. As they filmed down a cliff, they saw something sitting on a rock that quite startled them. The footage is quite grainy and shaky, but the shape of a humanoid with a fish's tail can be clearly seen sitting on the rocks. As soon as the creature discovered that it was being filmed though, it quickly dived into the rough muddy waters, never to be seen again. What makes this video quite compelling is that the rock was situated in very rough water, and it would be far too dangerous for someone in the mermaid suit to go there just to stage this video. Number 5. The Mermaid from Down Under. Mermaids are creatures that are so difficult to spot, much less film. And if we do find any footage of them, most are from amateur videographers that are unclear, grainy, and oftentimes shaky. Furthermore, most of the footage is just that, footage. There's no real backstory to most of them, making it more difficult to verify whether they are genuine or not. This next entry in our list, although like many others there's little to no backstory to it, is quite possibly the clearest footage we have of a mermaid. According to what little we've uncovered, the footage you are seeing right now was taken by a diver somewhere in Australia. The water is quite murky and the diver seems to be swimming in a kelp forest. As the diver panned his camera upward, the unmistakable silhouette of a mermaid swam above him. Did we just see irrefutable proof of the existence of mermaids? Or is this footage an elaborate hoax? We probably won't ever know. Number 4. The Spanish Mermaid. We now move on to the second reported mermaid sighting on our list that allegedly came from Spain. The video starts off like any other tourist video, shaky footage of anything and everything that the person taking the video sees. This time a few boats and a rocky breakwater in on some beach in Spain. As he was filming, he spotted a human head pop up out of the ocean. Judging by the look of the area, it seems highly unlikely that a man would go swimming here, and I think the person taking the video thought the same, so he, or she, trained the camera to the person in the water. Then the supposed person died, and you could clearly see a finned back immediately followed by an unmistakable fishtail. However, the footage doesn't stop there. The footage then quickly jumps to a closer shot, showing the creature swimming just beneath the surface of the water. Although the water is cloudy, we can clearly see an orange fin just barely breaking the surface of the water. Number 3. The Minnesota Mermaid. Conspiracy theorists believe that governments all over the world aren't totally being truthful to their citizens, of course. They say that authorities know of the existence of many creatures of legend that exist on our planet, and even outside of it. Heck, you don't believe me, remember the Area 51 raid that was supposed to take place? Pfft, please. The existence of aliens, Bigfoot, and mermaids are believed to be known to governments, but for some reason are keeping the information from the public. Our next video might prove the existence of mermaids and proof that the government is actively hiding their existence. This footage, reportedly taken by Australian tourists at a lake in Minnesota, show a couple of men in yellow raincoats fishing something from out of the water. Prior to their arrival, the tourists explained that a couple of black windowless vans appeared out of nowhere and parked near the lake. As the tourist shot his footage, you will notice that the men in the raincoats were fishing out a body from the lake, the body of the man with the lower half of a fish. Is the US government hiding the existence of mermaids from the public? What do you think? Now it's time for the day's best pick. This is probably the best footage of a mermaid that you will ever see, except for maybe number 1, of course. Number 2. Mermaid Melissa. Today's best pick shows us, like all other entries on this list, footage of a mermaid as it bathes in the sun on a pure white sand beach. The footage is quite breathtaking, and for good reason. This is probably the best footage of a mermaid ever, and this is 100% real. Well, the footage, that is. The mermaid, well, she's real, but there's more than meets the eye. Meet Mermaid Melissa. Mermaid Melissa is not like most Floridian girls. For one, the 33-year-old formerly known as Melissa Dawn can hold her breath for 5 minutes underwater. For another, she has a whole wardrobe of glittery fishtails. The mermaid has more than 480,000 followers on Facebook and a YouTube channel which she uses to broadcast videos of herself swimming through clear seas to her 100,000 subscribers. Why? Because when mankind has messed up the seas, one of us has to take to the waves. Melissa works with charities including Florida Fish as a mascot, raising awareness about the decline of aquatic life and coral reefs, and the damage we're doing to our seas. Her most recent project took place in Australia as the Great Barrier Reef, which Greenpeace argues our actions are destroying.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
Number 1. The Mermaid in the Cove. And finally, at number 1 on our list, we finally find out where, if this video is real, the place that mermaids call home. In this video, people were snorkeling in an underground river in a cave system somewhere in Mexico. Since the video was shot in a cave, the footage is dark and only a little light seeps from the cave's mouth. As our diver was snorkeling, he could hardly see anything, only catching glimpses of the cave's underwater stalactites and occasionally the legs of the other people who were snorkeling in the cave with him. Then all of a sudden, a mermaid swam right in front of him, right under the feet of some of the swimmers who were treading on the surface of the water. Clearly surprised, our diver quickly swam to the surface, but it didn't end there. A little later, he was again filming underwater when he saw the mermaid again, this time right below him. Which mermaid footage do you think is real? Let us know in the comment section below.